first got started, I was in commercial finance. And when the market kind of went awry, I was like, what can I do? How can I serve people? And so I started using the internet or using social media to build my business. And so I started on Pinterest and Instagram and Facebook, and I was selling digital courses, physical courses, and then my own coaching as well. And so as I was bringing in new clients and selling things, I just teach someone else how to do it. So I would learn how to do it. I'd get a sell, and then I'd immediately go, hey guys, here's what I'm doing. And I just break it down. I started a Facebook group, and I started really kind of positioning myself as an authority, as someone that actually wanted to give, who is it, Gary Vaynerchuk, that's like jab, 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 right hook. I learned that a long time ago. And I had this group where I was just constantly giving people value. And then I started to sell a lot in there as well. So for me, it started out like I just had to do some trial and error. Like in the beginning, I look back at some of my old posts and I shake my head because I was so spammy. I had a link in every post, like people were unfollowing me in the masses. And, I look back on it and I say, wow, what a cool journey, but in the beginning, I didn't know if people were going to give me money. I didn't know if anyone was going to be interested. I was like throwing spaghetti against the wall and figuring it out. Did you feel like you started like that? Like, it's like, I don't know, sounds good. Let's see if it works.
I feel like I do it all the time still.
It's like, sounds good. I got this idea.
I think that one thing that you brought up that was like super cool to me, like right now is like you said, and this is important, I think, for everybody, is like, you went and learned it, and then you went and turned around and taught it. And I think that what I want you to do is kind of explain, let's just put the underlining here. You overcame imposter syndrome. So what I think that would be interesting is your process of making a decision that it was okay that you were the teacher. I mean, this is, I think that this is like a major core issue. I've had to do it. It's like there's like a trigger in your brain that you have to kind of think. Well, go ahead and answer. I was going to say.
One of the main things, like when I first start working with someone, the first thing that we work on is the confidence and clarity around what we want to do in the first place. And so for me, I knew that I wanted to teach other people because there was a lot of other people like me that were looking for training or just wanted to, were hungry for information and wanted to build, It's interesting. Let me pause for a second. It's interesting because when I first got started 13 years ago, it wasn't so simple for everyone to just launch an online course and just launch a pod, like we didn't have as many resources. It was like you filmed on a camera and then you had to connect that camera, let it download. There was a lot more steps and it was a lot slower.
You had Jeff Walker, like you have these guys, the product launch formula, and then and then it's like, you're like looking at this thing like and then you got to create a page. So no, you're right. Like none of this stuff.
Exactly. And like, like all the page builders, the website builders, those weren't really popular back then.
2 weeks.
I know Messenger wasn't really a thing. I mean, people were using Facebook Messenger, but Instagram Messenger wasn't around. And so I had to learn this stuff and then find a way to record the videos and teach it inside of my Facebook group, or Google Hangouts were really big back then. I would teach Google Hangouts and, I would try to just get people wherever I could at that time and teach them. But one thing that I think is the most important is focusing on the confidence. Like why, people say, oh, I want more followers or I just want more sales, but why do you want that in the first place? Like, is it because it's going to make you feel good? Is it because it's going to financially enable you to do more things? Is it because you want to tap into a new community? Is it because you want to serve?
You want to show up in a new car at Christmas.
Right. Like let's cut the BS here. And so
isn't that that's kind of what it is, right? You don't see your family all year. You show up with that new Suburban. You're like, Johnny's doing good.
I know, right? But it's important because you said, well, what made you want to go from, the student to the teacher? Is because I wanted to show people all you have to do is find your own confidence and find something, get the clarity around something that you're actually excited to teach about. And then it becomes fun.